we're going to dive into our wedding days.
The engagement part was so hard because I was going through a breakup.
So how did you feel actually being able to be intimate with Tanner finally?
It was so weird.
She's like, do you want like full wedding glam? And
You're like, yeah,
just said,
it's my wedding.
this is my one regret.
I questioned if I was still a virgin.
The wedding day was awesome though. The honeymoon was great.
Hi.
Hey, it's Sarah and Lo Beeston,
Your Fairly Odd Sisters.
Woo!
Yeah.
Please don't make me do it again.
Back to that. Are we?
Should we just start every episode with a cough drop?
Ricola.
Just a celebratory
Literally.
cough drop. Ricola. That
They should
just
sponsor
literally
us.
reminds me of my granny. She
Yeah.
always pulled him out of her pocket. Is that just like a...
It's because of those commercials she probably just got.
You know what I've noticed is Derek's parents have mints.
They have those.
too. They
Yeah.
not the cough drops,
Not
but
Ricolas.
just those
I
mints.
feel like you can always find one of those in my mom's purse. There's a straggler.
My mom
You
has
can always
caramels.
find ibuprofen. You can always find a Ricola.
Okay, this is starting to sound like my purse.
Really? That's true. Like my mom always has a little baggie of like 3 random like
Treats.
Actually, yes. She has a baggie of treats. She has like maybe like a chocolate chip cookie in there that she got from like Wendy's, and then she has
chocolate chip
I don't know.
cookie.
She always, whenever we go to a fast food restaurant, she orders the chocolate chip cookie.
Is
and she
this
just has
that generation
and then she
thing?
always has like a sucker for the kids. So like if she sees a grandkid, she's
Wow.
prepared to like, here's a sucker.
That's the ultimate.
And then she always has a baggie of ibuprofen, and then maybe like one other medicine in there just in case.
What else do you need?
And then she
Medicine
probably has
and
like
chocolate.
a Ricola like floating around in there.
Floating around in the bottom. Honestly, that generation, because my mom is the same way.
Yeah.
Same exact stuff.
Yeah.
And her Bath and Body Works lotion
Yes.
added onto that.
Yes.
Some weird lip glosses from Forever 21. But
And then like the keychain that holds her keys, it's like a little hook for her purse.
this generation is the same.
She has a lot of keys on her keychain,
Yeah.
on her key.
Every time we go to lunch with my aunts and my grandma, one of my aunts pulls out her bag and dumps a whole soiree of chocolates on the table, like at the restaurant.
You're
Just
like,
pulls it out before we even start eating. There is chocolate all over, and they're passing around treats.
Oh my gosh.
This is just a that generation.
Yeah, I think
thing.
it is. I think it is.
The women
Anyway.
love their treats.
That's
Anyway,
well. Speaking of, it's almost Mother's Day.
it is. We are gonna have a special episode on the podcast
Yeah.
and do a mom-daughter thing for Mother's Day. So
my mom
I
actually
think your mom would
thrives.
eat it up.
Whenever I like get my phone out, she's like, "Let me do my hair." Like she just is
Yes.
so. And you know who people always think she looks like?
Who?
Is oh my gosh, why am I spacing her name? The main witch in
The main witch?
do you know the redheaded witch in
No.
what's her name?
In Hocus Pocus?
Yes. Oh my gosh, please tell me her name. I literally know it. Bette Midler.
Bette
Oh my
Midler,
gosh.
yeah.
Anyway, one time my mom went to the DI to like drop off just stuff to the DI, and the guy that was helping get the stuff out of the car was like, oh my gosh. And she's like, what? And he's like, you're Bette Midler. And she was like, oh my gosh, no, actually I do get that all the time. He's like, no, I know that you're Bette Midler. You probably
He doesn't believe her?
Didn't believe her that she wasn't, and was fully convinced
That's
that Bette
funny.
Midler was at the DI dropping things off. And
That is...
so that's a story.
You'll have to decide for yourself if Lo's mom looks like
Bette Midler.
Hocus Pocus.
Not the witch, but when she's like a
normal person.
not
Yes,
just
no,
Opus
Lily's
Winifred.
beautiful woman and soul. Well, today we're gonna dive into our wedding days. Lo and
my
I
gosh.
both got married freakishly young. And I'm sure we have some really interesting stories to tell.
Yeah.
About our whole wedding day, how it went down, what we could change, what we would do different, favorite parts. So
Yeah.
We did marry brothers.
Yes, we did.
We did. And Lo got married a year before me and Derek. So
yeah.
Tell us about your whole wedding day, start to finish.
Whoa. Okay.
The details. How was it?
Okay. So if you haven't listened to kind of our love story episode, that could be a good one to listen to before this episode, just because it would make more sense going into this.
Yes.
I got married very young. I got married when I was 21. So not as young as Sarah, but I still,
not as freakishly young as me.
If you didn't listen to our last episode, I said that I looked, never mind. I'm not even going there. I was 21 when I got married to Tanner. And in the church culture that we grew up in, it's very normal to get married young because it's looked down upon to kind of live together before you get married. You're supposed to, wait until marriage, and that's like a big thing. And so I think a lot of us get married so young because we're ready to kind of start that chapter in our lives, and we can't really move on until we've,
done the
gotten
deed.
married. And so I think that's why a lot of people end up getting married so young, versus just moving in together. And then, later on, once you have a little bit more money, or once you, are a little bit more established, you can get married and make sure they're the right person, whatever. And so it's funny that I was going through a heartbreak at the same exact time I got engaged to Tanner. I was obviously in a little bit of a pickle when Tanner got home from his mission. And then Tanner and I didn't get married until a year after he got home, like just over a year. And so for a few months there, I was unsure of who I was going to end up marrying. And then it all ended in like an engagement to Tanner, which is just so wild to think about, because maybe if there wasn't that church pressure of like getting married before moving in together, anything like that,
you'd have more time.
I think that's the next step I would have taken, not marriage right away.
Yeah.
Because, I like so grateful that we ended up the way that it did. But I think it was such a weird time because for those 2 months that we were engaged, which is such a short time, 2 or 3 months, I think.
Yeah, that is such a
such a short time to be engaged. We knew each other for so long, so it's fine. Yeah. But like the engagement I think of was the worst for me. The second I got married and on, the best thing ever. But the engagement part was so hard because I was going through heartbreak, a breakup of somebody who had been
people say that?
my best friend for the past year.
Yeah.
I was going through like losing somebody, but so happy to be moving on with somebody else that I was in love with, but it was still like some part of my heart was aching.
Looking back, you wish maybe you would have had, not that you wouldn't have married Tanner, but just more time.
Just that I could have, healed from that before getting engaged, getting
2
married.
months, then
it's
getting
just
married.
wild to think about that. But I am also grateful that, Tanner and I waited to, till we were married. That's a special moment that we can have forever. But at the same time, I think that it's just wild that that's what kind of
your heart was not okay while you were getting engaged.
Yeah. Exactly. And so I think it was crazy because I knew that I was making the right choice, right? Like I knew I wanted to marry Tanner, but there was this like heartache in me. And it wasn't until I saw Tanner on the day of our wedding where I'm finally like, about to be married to him. And it's the first time I'm seeing Tanner on our wedding day. And I like this flood of emotion just like overwhelmed me. And I knew for a fact that I was doing the right thing. And it was like that second that I was like, oh my gosh, I could have done this so much sooner. And like, the relief could have come so much sooner. And so it's just crazy that happened to me, that confirmation, that feeling of
as you're getting married,
as the day I'm getting married.
Instead of before,
which is, I'm so grateful for. And like, I think it was just a thing of like, I just needed to know that I could make the decision on my own because I was really trying to rely on a sign or anything, like give me a sign from God, like anything that I could hold on to. And it was always just like, this is your decision. You have to make it. And I think I'm very grateful that it was my decision because I can always say, this was my decision to do this. And I know it was right for me. And then in that moment, I got like overwhelmed with the feeling of like, this is right.
Yeah. And that's all you want on your wedding day. I mean,
on your wedding day,
if you had gone in, if you had felt right about it and then you're in your wedding and then go, you're like, I don't know if this is right.
I gotta pull way out.
Worse.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful that it went that way. And so anyway, that was just the wild start to my wedding day. And then after that, I feel like my wedding day is the perfect day. In my mind, like
It
nothing went
perfect.
wrong. I just felt so happy the entire day. And so we get married and I'm just like, we walk into the room so that we can get sealed. We're ready to be married. And I just see everyone that I love.
Explain for people that don't know what that is.
So we got married in the temple, which the only sad part is that my dad couldn't come in. Because in
our religion, you get married in the temple if you're worthy to be in the temple, but only people that have a certain recommend that are worthy to be in there can enter the temple. So
even if you're just going to see somebody get married.
So family members that aren't a part of the church and people that aren't worthy to be in the temple aren't allowed to witness the wedding because they can't enter the temple, which is so sad, but that's just how it is if you choose to get married in the temple. So my dad couldn't come in, which was the biggest bummer. Nowadays people do ring. I wish so.
I am so sad
One
because
regret.
at the time, it was like a stigma. People very much looked down on people who would do the sealing and then a ring ceremony.
Yes.
Any type of ring ceremony. I
It
don't
just
know
wasn't
why.
really a thing.
It wasn't really a thing, but it was also kind of like, maybe it was okay to do. Like you weren't gonna, nothing bad was gonna happen to you, but there was this feeling of like negative notion if you did do it. Did you get that feeling ever?
I don't think I thought of it as negative. I think I just didn't think about it at all.
Like I wanted to do one.
I didn't have the thought, even though I wish, because there were so many of my friends that couldn't watch me get married.
I know, same. And so it was like going back. We also didn't have a lot of money for the wedding. And so I don't think we could have afforded doing a ceremony anyway, like a real ring ceremony. And so I only had so much time in the wedding day to like pay for a photographer, pay for a videographer and a venue. And so I think that I honestly couldn't afford it regardless, but I wish I could have done a ring ceremony, have my dad be a part of it. That is wild.
Now it's very common. Almost every single wedding in our church, I see a ring ceremony and along with that, so that everyone can attend. But also, apart from people being there that you want to be there, I'm not gonna lie, I just wanted to have a moment of walking down the aisle in my dress and people standing up. Like that's a full-on princess moment that we didn't get, because that's true. That makes me sad. I think we should renew our vows and do like a full friends family.
Our 10 years next year.
Yeah,
I really want to.
I think somewhere really pretty, get a dress and like be able to have that moment, because like that's kind of what you dream about when you think of a wedding. You think about your husband, your fiance, standing there at the end and seeing you for the first time in your wedding dress, and it's this big moment where you get to walk down the aisle, and we literally did not get that.
We didn't get that moment.
Which is
a little sad.
Yeah, that's sad.
A little sad.
It's a little sad, but
so
the wedding days are awesome.
Wedding days
as they are, but
other than that,
keep going.
Was amazing.
So you got
we
married.
came out of the temple and we got to like greet everyone and hug everyone, and you know it's not the same, but still it was a happy moment. And then after that we went straight to the reception. Tanner and I stopped at Del Taco on the way, which regrets.
That's your one regret. Your one other regret.
We didn't even want Del Taco. We wanted like McDonald's or something, but I think we just like got the first place that we saw because we were starving and knew we had to get to the reception.
The funniest part about this is we didn't know that you guys did that, but on our wedding day we also got Del Taco.
That is wild.
How weird is that?
But it hurt my stomach. Like
it did not hurt my
stomach was in pain.
At the night. Go to the reception.
So literally the reception, I was like, my stomach hurts. But it was like honestly the fun outweighed the pain in the tummy.
Yeah.
But after the night was over, after the reception, I did go straight to the gas station to get Tums. It was that bad. But other than that, like literally, it was so funny because I don't even want to say that. What? But like, okay, so my wedding day.
Did you guys fool around?
No, I was just gonna say like.
Well, I'm gonna ask you
in the drive-through of Del Taco.
The drive-through.
I was just like, I just remember, like Tanner reaching over and like grabbing the outside of my boob because he could.
How funny does this sound?
Funny
How
and
funny does this
random.
sound? Oh
anyway, it was just funny. So then drove straight to the reception. We did a line for like 30 minutes, and then we had like the cake cut, which I just smashed so much cake into Tanner's face. I was always dreaming of doing that. I filmed weddings, like I was a full-time videographer filming weddings for like years before. Actually, I don't know if it was years before, but whatever. Yeah, it was years before. So I had been a wedding videographer, and I'd seen a lot of weddings. And I think one requirement for me was to not have a fitted lace dress, because I had filmed so many. So then I made sure that I got this like kind of chiffon-y dress.
Opposite of mine.
which I love.
The fitted lace dress.
No, but this is the thing. Is I love fitted lace dresses.
I agree. I really did. So uncomfortable.
Honestly, I've never been like a bodycon girl anyway, so I don't think I would have done a fitted dress.
Your dress was beautiful.
Just because I had seen it so much, and it doesn't mean like I think that they're gorgeous, but I think that was just a part of what I wanted to be comfy. I wanted to be comfortable, and I wanted to be a little bit different than what I'd seen. And so, yeah, I had like a chiffon dress that I loved. I got it from ASOS for $100.
Coming through. They really pulled through.
I found that on ASOS. I had done like one bridal shop where I tried on dresses, and I didn't love any of them. So then I got on ASOS. I found my wedding dress, and I was like, I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
Yes.
And so I ordered it. It was literally $100. I think I did maybe $80 in alterations to add an extra layer of chiffon and to make it fit me. But
perfect.
It was my favorite dress. And also people thought, like my photographer thought that it was an Altamoda dress. Like she tagged Altamoda in the picture, and I had to be like,
you're like,
by the way,
from ASOS.
It's from ASOS.
It is beautiful.
But
and honestly, ASOS has really good dresses.
They do.
To this day.
They do.
I would pick one and wear it.
They really do.
You should revamp, and next time you do vows, when we do them later. Yeah. Because we're going to do that.
Yes, we have to.
You should get another ASOS dress.
Yes.
Bring it back.
Honestly. And so, anyway, that was so fun. We smashed cake. We did our first dance. My brother sang our favorite
so special
little Coldplay song called Till Kingdom Come. And he got to sing that to us while we did our first dance.
I got to see it. Can I just
Sarah
say
was literally
I was
there.
at the wedding.
Their first date. Sarah and Derek's first date.
Yes, it's fun because I wouldn't have been there otherwise.
I'm so happy.
But I got to see it. I got to see Jesse sing, and
that is wild. You
guys dance, and I got to meet them, and it was awesome.
That is so crazy. Yeah. I'm so grateful for that.
I know.
And
so I can picture it all. Yeah. I was there.
She was there for the dinner the night before too.
Oh,
like when we did our dinner with everyone. But yeah, so then after that we did a little dancing with everyone, which was so freaking fun. Come On Eileen stands out to me. That's my favorite freaking song for dancing at weddings. And then we exited, went straight to,
straight to doing it.
Straight to doing it. I was nervous for that.
Yeah. How'd you feel when you're... Well, it's also a funny thing because people like assume, well, you waited till marriage, you got married in the temple. Yeah. How weird is it that everyone's thinking, all right, they're going to go do it now.
For the first time. It's so weird. It's so awkward.
It's so awkward because they're like, they're just rushing out of here. Yeah. And it's all your family and you're like, your grandparents,
Mom,
everybody.
Bye, Dad.
I don't like that.
I know.
It's giving me the ick right now, but
yucky.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's just part of it.
It's part of it. Yeah. It's fine. But everyone just knew.
Yeah.
And
so you were very nervous.
I was very nervous. But honestly, I have zero complaints about, like, literally it went perfectly. And then later I found out that like my sister and my mother-in-law came to the reception early to set everything up. And I guess when they were setting everything up, it was like
blistering wind. Was it not?
Blistering windstorm.
Okay, keep in mind.
Everything's getting pushed over. Everything's falling over. Things are breaking everywhere, left and right. I'm texting my sister because we were still taking our pictures. I was like, how's it going down there? Like setting up. And she goes, oh my gosh, it's perfect. It looks so beautiful.
Good.
And she's freaking out because she's like, oh my gosh, like everything's blowing over. Things are not staying because it was outside a reception.
Honestly, kudos to her for not stressing out the bride.
Because I had zero stress that day.
Yeah.
I showed up and for some like luck out of the universe, it stopped being windy and it was just like a light breeze the rest of the night and nothing blew over. It was perfect. And I had zero idea that was a stressful morning.
Yeah.
I had zero idea until I came back from my honeymoon and Lisa was like, by the way,
good on the people setting up, because there's nothing worse than when someone
puts
that's helping with the wedding puts the stress on the bride. I saw that so many times being at weddings, and I always had to calm down the bride. And I think it's so good that
she didn't give me any of that. Like I had zero idea. I was
said we can handle it, and if we need help from someone else, we'll call someone else.
Exactly. I was blissfully unaware of the stressful morning, and I think it was so funny because in the morning I got myself ready and I did all of my makeup except for my eyes. I had somebody do my eye makeup, and it was just such a weird morning. My mom was just like making me breakfast, and I was like, I'm getting married today. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And I didn't get married until about 2, so it was late. Yeah.
So you just had a lot of time
all
to
morning,
hang
just
out.
kind of hang out.
Yeah.
Get ready. So wild.
That's awesome.
But it was such a fun day.
And then where'd you guys go after?
So we spent every dollar that was in Tanner's bank account on our honeymoon. And which was a couple $1,000s. We went to an all-inclusive resort in Punta Cana. Is that what it's called? Probably. I think so. Mexico. I think that's what it's called. It was an all-inclusive. Wait, no, it was Puerto Vallarta.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to say it. It was Puerto Vallarta. But it was an all-inclusive resort in Puerto Vallarta, and we got to stay there. We went surfing in Sayulita. It was honestly a dream.
Perfect.
We didn't have to think about food because it was just a buffet. And
it does sound like a dream.
Yeah.
And all the activities are kind of right there.
Like we just went swimming every day, got pina coladas, went to the ocean, took the bus an hour away to go surfing in Sayulita. It was so much fun.
That's perfect.
Yeah. But I was actually on the honeymoon. I was so excited to get back home to like live our life together. I was so excited to finally be married.
Yeah, because you guys have been dating for so long, and it was
it was finally
that moment
that
you couldn't be together after a certain time.
It's so bizarre to think of now, because I can't like think about
How was that first week back?
It was so good. I was the perfect housewife. I feel like I would wake up before this lasted a week. I would wake up before Tanner left for work or school, and I would make him eggs, and I was just so excited to like play house. I'm not kidding.
This lasted a week.
And then I was like, I think he can, do this on
his own eggs.
I'm pretty tired. I don't want to wake up anymore. But yeah, I feel
hilarious.
like it was so fun, and it was so much better than being engaged.
Yeah.
I was so happy to be married.
Yeah.
So happy.
Sounds like a dream.
It was a dream, to be honest.
Yeah.
After all the like craziness leading up, it was just so nice to have like normalcy and feel solidified in my decision and very confident in that, and feel like we just had each other.
Yeah.
And there was no like wishy-washiness anymore. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you feel actually being able to be intimate with Tanner finally?
Oh my gosh.
After that many years, and now it's like all of a sudden, okay, it's okay.
It was so weird. Like that's the weirdest part. I think like we just need to help our kids understand that sex is not a bad thing. That's not like, like, because a lot of people go into it, if you've held off before marriage, thinking, oh my gosh, like you think it's wrong all this time, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like how do I make it feel like it's not wrong anymore?
Yeah. And a lot of parents don't have conversations with their kids before just throwing them into the lion's den.
So I think there was definitely an adjusting period, figuring everything out, because we were both new to this. This was our very first time for both of us. And so figuring that out took us about like a month to really,
honestly, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Start getting the hang of it. But it's funny because every month that went by, we'd be like, remember when we sucked at that? Like literally we sucked so bad. And then like a month would go by and be like, remember how last month we sucked? Like we've gotten so much better. I feel like it was
you're learning together.
That we
it's
learned
nice
together.
that one of you wasn't very
far ahead, and then the other kind of, I mean, that way too is nice because I feel like one can teach
lead
and kind of lead, and
you guys are trial and error.
both didn't know what we were doing. So it was kind of like we both were in the dark, which is hard. I think it took us a little longer to figure out than if one of us had like maybe some experience there. But I don't know. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's funny to look back on now because I remember thinking like 6 months into our marriage, we were like, remember when we sucked and we thought we were so good?
And it just gets better and better as it goes.
Like, we're so good at this. And then 6 months later, we're like, whoa, we were not good at that. Like,
the learning curve.
The learning curve. But anyway, it was fun to like be able to do that together.
So you don't have any regrets about your wedding day? Nothing that comes to mind besides like the ring ceremony.
Yeah, I think if we could have had a ring ceremony, I would definitely have done that. And like, obviously, if I had like the funds to do something extravagant, I possibly would have done like, you know, let's go to Greece and have everyone fly. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, that. But for what it was and for the time that it was, I don't think I would change anything. Yeah. Besides adding a ring ceremony.
Yeah, the venue looked beautiful. Everything
like I loved it.
Well.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think wedding days are less about the fluff and more about, is the day good? Is it going well? Are people happy? Is the vibe good?
Yeah. And I just feel like the vibes were high, and the fact that everyone came on the dance floor, our grandparents were out there just shaking it, getting jiggy with it. Like,
honestly, that's one of the biggest parts about weddings.
You need to have a good dance party.
You need to have good people on the dance floor, because that makes the biggest difference. There's nothing worse. Yeah, there's nothing worse than when the groom and bride are out there and no one's really dancing, and it's awkward.
The bride and groom never go out because they're just talking. I'm like, you're missing your dance party.
This is your dance party. For you should be lifted up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I literally just told somebody to do this at their wedding day, and I can't remember what it is.
It'll come.
Anyway, so yeah, I loved it. Like the whole day, I was so happy, and that's literally all I can ask for.
Okay, so one piece of advice you could give to somebody that's getting married:
keep the people around you, like the people that you know will bring you good vibes. Because the biggest thing that I saw a lot in filming weddings is that the people around you can change the whole day for you, depending on if they're a stressed out person and they give you stress and they just make you kind of spiral into, oh my gosh, we don't have the flowers. Oh my gosh, we don't have this. What are we going to do? It's the doomsday kind of thing. Whereas somebody who's a more of a problem solver, keeping the vibes high, not really keeping you out of the loop, but just kind of keeping the things that are not going exactly
making
to
sure
plan.
You're having a good experience.
Exactly. Just like making sure that the people around you are ones that will keep you in high spirits, because the biggest thing that you're going to remember from your day is how you felt. And the biggest overarching thing of my wedding day is that I was so happy and it was so fun. Yeah. And so to keeping the vibes high and keeping the people around you, like, make sure they're the ones that will keep you in high spirits and good vibes.
So true.
I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's awesome.
And I guess it doesn't matter if you have like a low budget, like
it's
low budget and high budget. It's all about the experience, because I wouldn't change my wedding, even though it was like, you know, might not have been the most extravagant wedding ever, but it was
perfect.
It so fun. Perfect. Yeah. And so anyway,
that's great. I'm just glad I could be there.
I know, literally. I was so happy that you were there.
No, it did feel like a really good vibe for the part that I got to be at. The whole reception was great. Yeah. We even used my truck to get all the stuff from.
So I helped
you helped clean up all the stuff in the truck. Yeah.
Thank you for that.
I got you. No, it was actually came in handy. No, they needed a truck.
We wouldn't have been able to. I mean, so
they just threw everything in the back of my truck, and I was like, yeah, I'll take it back to wherever it needed to go. But no, it was fun.
In the cleanup crew first date with Derek, you're like, why am I cleaning up some random person's wedding?
It was like actually fun. It was like just a chance to like talk to everybody and get it all.
Gotta meet the whole fam that first date.
Yeah, seriously.
Just grandparents, cousins. Grandparents,
hey. I was so overwhelmed. So overwhelmed.
Had to make probably so many small talk conversations.
So many.
Meeting everyone.
Yes, the dinner was. For you, it went great. Yeah. For me, I was stressed out of my mind.
You're like, okay, here we go.
I dropped my food in my lap during the speeches, and I was like, just all over me. And I was like putting my head down, because I'm one of those people that trying not to laugh in moments when they're giving speeches.
Yes.
I'm like, of course this happens to me on my first date. Like a whole plate of chicken in my lap.
That is so funny. It's like a messy food too.
It was a
like
messy chicken, saucy,
splotchy.
Yes. Luckily, I think I was wearing black.
That's good.
Anyway.
Okay,
Good
let's talk
times.
about your wedding day.
All right. So my wedding day is kind of similar to Lowe's, except for, should I start with the things that I want to change or what? Because overall, my wedding day, like Lauren's, went perfect from what I thought.
Yeah.
I don't have any bad feelings about. There were like a few little things here and there that I'm like, I would have done that different. But overall, the day, the vibe, everything was great.
Yes.
I got married a little earlier in the day. It was like 11 and is that in the morning?
It was hot
afternoon?
at the temple.
You guys, it was hot. It was very hot.
Beautiful and sunny though.
It was in June. Yeah. The weather was honestly perfect.
Yeah.
It was just a very, very hot day. I left early. I went and had my makeup done and I didn't really know anything about makeup at this time. And I didn't know what I liked and what I didn't like. And she's like, do you want like full wedding glam? And
You're like, yeah,
just said,
it's my wedding.
yes, wedding glam. Yeah. I'm getting married.
Is this the same girl that did your makeup for your first look?
The first look. Yeah. And I thought she was kind of going to do the same. She's amazing at what she did. I think I just didn't know what I wanted at the time. And so looking back, I would have toned down the makeup a ton.
Really?
Yeah, I feel
you look beautiful.
Thank you. But I felt like I didn't really look like myself.
Okay, it's not how you would do your makeup.
It's not how I would do my makeup, and
you wanted to
it was a
look
little
bit
too
more like
much.
that.
It was very glammy, and but everyone was like,
Good
"You
for
look so
pictures.
beautiful, great for pictures." But I don't feel like in some of them I look like myself.
Yeah,
that's the
I
only.
get that.
That's the only thing, and then. Looking back, my style, I hadn't been in weddings at this point. I was just starting photography.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like
That's right.
doing it for fun. I wasn't in the wedding, so I hadn't been to a ton of weddings. So I didn't really have a feel for what I loved at the point, like at this point. And really, I was just so focused on, I just want to get married to Derek, that a lot of the details, I kind of just went, yeah, you got like whatever you think, and kind of just passed it off. And my mom would say, what do you think about these candies?
Yeah.
And I was just
like,
oh,
sure. Yeah.
Like I didn't really know, apart from picking colors and stuff, what I wanted. And I hadn't seen enough things to know.
Yeah.
As far as my wedding dress goes, I love my wedding dress.
Yeah. It was so pretty.
After going to weddings, I would not have picked it again. And
Really?
and my style changed so much. But also the problem with my wedding dress is I tried on my wedding dress and it was a sweetheart neckline.
Yeah.
Like it didn't have sleeves. And
it was like a
it was a sweetheart sleeveless dress that I tried on.
So it was very different.
Fell in love with it.
Yes.
It fit me perfect. Uh-oh.
You like knew you loved it as a tube top, like as a strapless.
And I am such a visual person. I couldn't really picture it, what it would look like with the sleeves.
Yeah.
This is my one regret, because without the sleeves, with the lower, it had a lower sweetheart plunging neckline.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with it. I tried it on. I got the whole wedding day like jitters of, this is my dress, it's so beautiful. And again, in our religion, you have to wear a
cap sleeve,
a modest dress. So this was I just think it's so funny because I don't want to say like my wedding dress was beautiful, but we had to bring the neckline up high.
Oh, yeah.
We tried to make it like a see-through little V-neck almost with some of the lace coming through, and then like a cap sleeve on it. Yeah. And the back was fully covered, fully lined.
There was no like.
So when I got the dress, I loved it, but it's not the dress that I tried on. If I'm being honest,
the dress you fell in love with.
She put like a little cloth over when I was trying it on to try and show me what it would look like with the sleeves. It wasn't necessarily like how you picked out your dress and it already had the sleeves on it, and you fell in love with that shape and the whole thing. Yeah. So I fell in love with the sweetheart dress. Yeah. And then my wedding dress is beautiful. I love it. I'm so grateful. But it's just not, I wouldn't pick it again. Yeah. I wouldn't pick it again, especially knowing now what it looks like with the sleeves on it. So that's another little tidbit. But I did feel beautiful on my wedding day. It was great. These are just little tiny things that I would have changed had I known looking back.
The outcome.
But the day was beautiful. The weather, there was no wind.
Yeah.
Which it might have been nice to have a little bit of a breeze. But same thing. We got married in the temple. A lot of my friends could not be in there, which is sad. A lot of my bridesmaids that couldn't be in there. Most of my family, there were a few family members that couldn't be in there either. And cousins that weren't old enough to be in there.
Yeah.
People that I would have wanted. But for the most part, the vibe and the feel in the room was something I will never forget.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful and just felt right and amazing. So we got married, greeted everyone, went outside, we did pictures. It was so hot.
Yes, I do remember sweating.
Everybody was sweating. But I mean, I'd much rather have that than
freezing cold.
Yes, but I also felt like my dress was kind of a straitjacket. Like,
it was thick. A little claustrophobic.
It was really thick.
Yeah, and so you were hot.
I was just really hot.
Yeah.
But again, vibes were high. Everyone was good. We had a long break in between our wedding and our reception, which is kind of what I wanted. We had done the dinner portion the night before, like you guys, so that we could just have a slow day. We weren't rushing around. So we got married at 11. We left the temple after doing pictures and stuff at like 2, I want to say, or something like that. And then our reception didn't start till 6:30.
Yeah,
so we had
a while.
So much time. And Derek's like, "What do you want to do?" So we drove up the canyon.
Not after you were haunted.
After the canyon we were haunted in.
Why would you do that?
What other canyon? We're not.
Why a canyon?
Where are you gonna go to be alone? I don't know. Everyone was at both houses, and
even your house.
Yeah,
that you guys were moving into. People were there.
Oh, it was so. Yeah, I guess we could have gone there.
Maybe
we didn't.
Yeah, you went to the canyon.
We went to the haunted. Got some grub, and we went up the canyon.
Okay, that's fun though. It's cute.
Messed around a little bit. Just a little. Didn't do it.
Yeah,
didn't do it. Just it was crazy to kind of mess around. And that was good times. Moving on. So then we were like,
did you go to Tibblefort or did you go to?
We literally were parked on the side of the road. Cars were driving by. Yeah. So yeah, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
That's amazing.
Cars going up, just a little
midday,
pull off, midday
sesh,
midday, just fine. The truck is big, so we could just go in the back. No one tinted windows, really couldn't really, whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
So then we realized, okay, we got to get back. Let's go see what's happening. We had to do pictures before. The reception was beautiful. I got to have the reception at a place I had been going since I was like 4 or 3. Pretty. I have pictures of me actually before then, literally since I was born.
It's wild.
It had a pool connected to it that my grandma was a part of. So we would go there at least once or twice a week with all my cousins, and it had a golf course, and it was my dream spot. I loved it. It was just outside on top with the golf course looking over, and it was so pretty, and I wouldn't have wanted to do it somewhere else because that place was like so special, so many memories for me. And it was so beautiful. The setup was awesome. I mean, no complaints with that. The food was really good, but I didn't really get to eat it, but I know everyone enjoyed the food.
It was really good.
There was some meats and
a lot of
smorgasbord. Yeah. I really wanted French fries and mac and cheese, but that didn't happen. Again, I was like, you do what you do.
Just do what you do.
I just wanted cups of mac and cheese and French fries.
Simple.
And it's so simple.
That's all she wanted.
Would have been so much easier. Just get the girl some mac and cheese.
Come on. That's all she asked for. Just a box of Annie's.
Yeah. But I remember it being so fun getting ready in the room with all my friends and just getting all zhuzhed, and we were just girl talking, and it was fun. And because we didn't really get to do the whole bridesmaids getting you ready, the mom tying well, kind of, but anyway, that was fun little memory. And then the reception was awesome, except for we did a line to like greet people coming in, and they placed us right in front of these windows.
Oh no,
it was
so hot.
It was. At that point in the day, it had to be 90 degrees.
It was hot.
90 degrees, but picture it through the window, just beating on my back. And I'm standing there in my heels and my thick dress. And when I tell you I almost passed out, not even being dramatic, I looked at Derek and I was like, I'm so like hot, and I hadn't really taken the time to like drink a lot and eat that day. We had a little bit of food, but I wasn't really that hungry.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wasn't drinking. So I literally almost passed out in my line.
Oh my gosh.
After an hour in of just
Could you
standing
imagine
there.
actually
Just like boom. I got to that point and I looked at my mom and I told her that we needed to kind of cut the line.
Like you're
because it was, and I was so grateful. There were so many people there.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it anymore. And it was the sun.
We cut mine in line too.
Beating on my back, and it was just heating. I was a heater, just standing there like doing the same conversation, which was fine. I was so grateful everyone came, but that's the one thing I remember of being like, okay, I gotta cut this. I can't do this anymore. And then the cake smash, awesome. Everything I dreamed.
Who smashed more?
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Oh, it was all up his nose.
Oh yeah,
on
I
the
got
face.
Tanner so good.
Yeah, I feel like the boys were more respectful just
They
because
were.
of the
He got
makeup
me a
and the
time,
face.
same
Yeah, like a
time,
little
see?
bit, but yeah, they don't want to ruin your whole face of
Yeah,
makeup,
yeah.
which I do think is kind of
Grateful.
sad when they do that.
I know.
Because they're like, I gotta go for another 45 minutes and fix
Somebody's
it.
gotta do this.
Everything about the reception was awesome. The dance party was amazing. They lifted us up.
was
They
so
were
fun.
They were pushing us and bouncing us, and first dances was awesome. I maybe a little bit regret our first dance song, but that's okay.
What is
totally
it?
fine. It was an Ed Sheeran song, but it was a little too fast.
Oh, what was the song?
Tenerife Sea, and it was just
Okay. You
looking
wanted it
back,
to be
I needed
slower?
it to be more slow. I didn't really take time to figure out.
You're just like, yeah,
a good. I was like, yeah, sounds good. All right.
Also, I just feel like both of our engagements were so short. It was like plan.
And then the sun was setting perfectly as we were doing the dance party. It got cooler. It was amazing. We had a big sparkler send off. That's the thing. And honestly, it lasted a while. We had to walk down the steps,
That's
and
true.
it was lined with a ton of people. I was
Yes.
actually surprised people stayed that long.
Yeah. It was still kind of light outside, right?
It was
because it was the summer,
pretty
so
dark.
Oh,
At
it
that
was?
point. Well, in the video,
oh,
maybe it was.
it must have been dark. Oh yeah, it did get dark.
But
It was light during the dance party.
Yeah, the dance party was light still.
yeah.
And then we drove away on our golf cart. We went and got in our car. We drove to our hotel. We were going to stay in Park City just for a night before we went on our honeymoon. And we got halfway up the canyon and I looked at Derek because I looked in the back of the truck and I didn't see anything. And I said, hey, did you end up grabbing the suitcases
Stop.
for our honeymoon? And he went, oh crap. We're 35 minutes up the canyon.
Yeah.
On our way to our hotel to like
Have to turn it around,
have
baby.
to turn around. Luckily, Derek called one of his groomsmen and he was able to meet us halfway.
Oh,
so we only had
good.
to turn around, meet us
For a little
halfway.
bit.
Shout out to Austin.
Oh my
It was
gosh,
awesome.
that's so funny.
But yeah, so that was funny. That was a little mishap. We almost didn't
Yeah.
have our stuff. I'm glad I didn't get to the hotel to like change into all the
my.
stuff and
It's like everything for your honeymoon, right?
everything. Yeah.
my
Our
gosh.
suitcases, our toothbrush, everything in our bags.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of just funny.
Yeah.
Because it's just so us. Forgot the
it's just
suitcases.
like, oh, forgot it.
Yeah,
Classic.
sorry. After classic. And
It wouldn't be something with you two if it wasn't for forgetting some type of something.
But it was like not a big deal.
Yeah.
We were just
turn
happy
it
to be
around.
married. We ate some Del Taco and it was
Time of your life.
It was the time of our life. And then went to our hotel, yada, yada,
And
yada.
you weren't nervous. You've already talked about not being nervous.
Yeah, I wasn't nervous. I think Derek was very nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do I even say?
And would you say the intimate part was great? Was it everything you ever want?
Like you, we're also learning
Figuring it
together.
out, baby.
And Derek was one to not have many girlfriends before this, so I think we were just. It was nerve-wracking, and also your whole life again being told this is
You can't do that.
can't do this, and
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing.
You don't know what to do. And
Yes.
you don't know.
You're just learning.
Yeah.
So it was still
so
awesome.
funny to look back on.
Yeah, it's so funny to look back on, but it's still at the time
Still awesome.
So awesome
So
because
awesome. We're like, wow.
you finally get to be alone and have a sleepover.
Exactly.
And it was
I
great.
questioned if I was still a virgin.
No, but actually,
You're like, wait, am I not
Am I not? As us youngins getting married as we
So
are.
little.
Oh yeah, I was in my teens.
Oh, you literally were
I was
19. Sorry.
Sorry, bye.
Bye,
Okay,
little teenager.
I was
Literally a
I was
teenager.
turning 20 in 2 months.
Still.
Yeah. I was
Teeny
so
bopper.
young. My parents are just sending off this 19-year-old.
Were they ever weird about your age?
They
Getting
were
married?
shocked. I didn't think I'd get married that young. But yeah, they were shocked. But they loved Derek. But it was just this push and pull of, you're so young. Do you want to wait?
Yeah.
But then the pressure of
wanting to move on with your
wanting
life.
to move on. It's
I know, it's
honestly,
weird.
It's not like
I know.
the best, but it's
I don't
not the
know.
worst. It's
I
not
don't
the
know
best.
about it.
It's just.
It's like, I'm so happy it worked out, but like,
But I do feel like there needs to be a level of date longer if you
Yes.
can. But then
like move in together.
yeah,
I
we
see
were
that now.
engaged for 6 months, which it felt like a long time. A lot of people, I've known people that were engaged for 3 weeks to a month. So
Hey,
6 months, half a year felt like a long engagement to me. Looking back, yeah, I was so
but
young.
you guys only met how long before that 6 months?
6 months. It was basically a year.
A year from when
almost.
you met.
Yeah.
So people would say
That's very
fast,
quick.
But
Yeah.
in our terms, that's like,
Yes.
an eternity.
An eternity waiting. Yeah. So yeah, the wedding day was awesome though. The honeymoon was great.
Was it?
There were really great aspects. I think we just had different ideas of what we thought the honeymoon would be.
What did you think it was going to be?
I thought it was going to be a lot of like relaxing. We're in the hotel room a lot.
We're wanting
Going
to just
out
be in the
sometimes,
bed,
but
like
just
relax.
yeah.
and-
But Derek was like, 8 a.m. comes around. All right, what
Let's
activity
go.
are we gonna do
What's
today?
the agenda?
Which is so Derek.
Yeah.
Now knowing him, I think we just had different ideas of what to expect. Not that it wasn't awesome. We did so many fun things. We went to Hawaii.
Were you in
which was
just Maui?
awesome. We were in Maui. Yeah.
I didn't remember if you
just
bounced
Maui.
around or if you were just there.
Yeah, but it wasn't like you guys where it was an all inclusive. So we had to be kind of creative of what are we
Where
gonna
are we
do?
going to go?
What are we gonna do today?
Yeah, that's
And
stressful.
yeah, but overall it was so fun. It was just funny to see our dynamic of what
The differences.
Yes, because I wanted to go out still. It just was like I didn't have to have a full
Like you're like,
agenda for
yeah.
the day.
And he got a little ants in
And
his
he
pants.
was a little antsy if we were in the hotel for too long. And I'm like, well, we're supposed to be in the hotel for too long. So it was
I
just
get
like
that.
a push and pull of that. And
Yeah.
then just like figuring it out.
Like you're like, okay, I'm with somebody.
Yes.
No.
But overall, really great memories on the honeymoon.
Yeah.
That stand out. And yeah.
That's amazing.
It was good.
Is there one thing in your wedding that stands out to you as the best moment?
I feel like the actual wedding part,
Yeah.
just the feeling and the so happy and the moment you've been waiting for and just feeling so in love. And
Yes.
that stands out to me, which I wish everyone could have seen that. I do wish we
feel
could have
that.
read vows too, apart from just having the ring ceremony. We don't have vows somewhere.
I know. That
That
like
isn't a
makes me
thing.
so sad.
Yeah, because people can look back and be like, this is what you promised me. And remember, it gives you a physical thing that you remember that probably
It's like
brings back feelings of that
Yes.
moment
Yeah.
that we don't have. But later in time,
In due time.
we'll film a podcast at our vow renewals.
Yeah, literally. Which maybe do next year because it's our 10
It's your
year.
10 year. Just make it a
That's
thing.
wild.
10,
This year's our
20,
9.
Every 10.
Every
10,
10.
20,
we
30.
just get to redo a
Just
wedding.
to redo a little wedding.
That'd be fun
Just
though.
for funsies.
Just for funsies.
I don't know.
Okay, well, let me think if I have any other questions. Oh, I thought of the thing.
Oh, yeah.
For a tip for the brides now
Mm-hmm.
is I saw somebody do this. I think it was Hannah from The Bachelorette.
Mm-hmm.
She posted and said that she hired somebody to just be on iPhone duty who is taking photos and videos on the iPhone.
So smart.
And I wish so badly I could have done something like that because you just have all the photos and videos instantly. They're all just like feel so real because they're so in the moment. Like
they don't have to be these professional photos. I don't think
I
have any, like maybe a couple iPhone photos.
Exactly. And I'm like, those are just from random aunts and uncles that snapped, like, you know, if you had somebody who's good with taking iPhone photos, literally do that.
But could also be hidden, because as a photographer, the most annoying thing was people 500 phones being up in the middle of the ceremony.
You have to designate it
one person. Yes, that's getting, I think it's so smart. They can kind of follow the photographer around.
Through like getting photos, like professional photos. They get like the behind the scene ones. They get the video.
Oh my gosh.
That was so bad.
Do that.
That is the coolest thing
ever.
Number
1 tip.
Yes.
Do that.
What would you say as your tip?
Well, honestly, that. Because honestly,
it's so cute.
Again, the vibe, the people.
Always get a freaking videographer. I know I was one for so long, but I know so many people that their one regret is not having a video at their wedding. Because it's like you have the photos, but watching a video is actually living through it and feeling those emotions and hearing the sounds and seeing the people. I
always tell people that.
It is so important. And if I can say one thing to spend your money on, it is a good photographer, a good videographer, and now an iPhone video.
And now an iPhone videographer.
Exactly. Which you could have like one of your bridesmaids if they're good at that too. And maybe they won't charge you. You know what I mean? Like,
I also, another little piece of advice, I would not over plan your day.
Yes.
That was another thing.
Relax.
Yes.
And down.
Good downtime in between the stuff that's happening. If you have to do some of the stuff the day before, do that, because there were so many brides that were so exhausted, so tired. They couldn't even enjoy the reception or the end of the day because they had just been running around all day long, from the luncheon to the breakfast to the wedding to the this and that, and just underplan it.
Yes,
just have things spread out during your day.
You just want to have fun. Just and go into it having fun.
Just keep the good vibe.
Good vibe rolling.
Keep them high. It ain't about the budget. It's about the people. Well, you guys, I hope you enjoyed our wedding episodes. Hopefully sometime in the near future we can do maybe wedding horror stories, because I know Lo and I were both in the wedding industry for a long time. We've seen some things.
We've seen
some crazy things. Yeah. And I know that not everybody's wedding day can go as smoothly as we feel like ours did. I feel very grateful. Just have seen what I've seen.
Yes.
So we'll have to get to that, and we'll do a fun Mother's Day episode coming up. But thanks for watching, as always. Listening.
Thanks for listening, watching.
Yes. Okay, bye.
Bye. Love you.